This morning, Nicolas Maduro is back in jail after a day in court. We'll hear what he told the judge and what he and his wife's lawyers say about a possible injury related to the U.S. operation.
Plus, our newest Time for Kids campaign kicks off this morning. Ahead, why you should turn your New Year's goals into your family's goals.
It's a mess. Glass and poop everywhere.
And the surprising home break-in you've got to see to believe. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on your Tuesday. I'm Kyrian Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. We got a slick start to your Tuesday morning. Before we check in with meteorologist Savannah Brito, we just want to check in on the conditions out there. So let's take a look at how things are looking. The blue areas here on the Wisconsin 511 road map means that roads are partially covered up further north. Things are a little bit worse. But here in south central Wisconsin, we are getting that mixed precipitation that makes things a little dicey.
Yes, that's right. Meteorologist Savannah Brito got it. Everything that you need to know right now. Savannah, what can people expect as they head out the door?
Yeah, guys, good morning. We are seeing that rain, the freezing rain and sleet mix over to rain across most of areas near Madison and then especially eastward because our temperatures are a little bit warmer. We're actually dealing with some pretty heavy showers too. Those pockets of yellow are the moderate to heavy showers. But up near the Dells, Camp Douglas, we have stretches of purple still because those temperatures are between about 30 and 32 degrees, a little bit closer to freezing level and even under that. But we've got a lot of green and seeing that transition, which was expected by this point in time. But yeah, the city of Madison, south of Waunakee, towards Sun Prairie and right over Mount Horeb, Cross Plains and Perry, we're seeing a lot of that yellow and orange, which is that heavy rain. No lightning on radar, but we are expecting this system to overtake all of southern Wisconsin through the rest of the morning before that second band moves in for the afternoon. So the system, a majority of this leading to slick conditions out there. Even the rain is still enough to make things slick, but we will be seeing this most of the day. We'll time out when the system will end and the next one coming up.
Savannah, thank you. New this morning, two brothers accused in homicides dating back a decade have pleaded not guilty.
Justin Charlo is accused of shooting and killing a 29-year-old man on Madison's west side in 2017. His brother Jordan also charged for that shooting and two others. He's accused of shooting and killing a 38-year-old man at a gas station on Verona Road in 2016 and faces charges in connection to a shooting on East Washington in March of 2017. Prosecutors say he fired shots into a car and the 31-year-old victim drove away, crashed into a hotel, and died. Justin will be in court January 28th. Jordan is set to be in court February 19th.
At the state capitol, lawmakers are considering a bipartisan bill to expand compensation and support for the wrongly convicted and exonerated. The Wisconsin Examiner reports the proposal follows a recent claims board decision awarding Gabriel Lugo the state's maximum of $25,000 and recommending lawmakers approve an additional $750,000. The bill would raise the current maximum compensation to $1 million and provide funding for health coverage and reentry assistance. Lugo spent 14 years in prison for a homicide he did not commit. Now to some national headlines this morning. Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are back in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting their next court appearance.
They pleaded not guilty to federal narco-terrorism charges. During that hearing, Maduro lashed out saying, quote, he was innocent, a decent man, and still the constitutional president of Venezuela. The judge later cutting him off.
Both sides have waived their right to a speedy trial, meaning this could be quite a bit of time.
And the Venezuelan First Lady's lawyer also revealing that she may have been injured during their capture. It's unclear if Maduro was injured. The pair are expected to be back in court on March 17th.
6:03. Today marks 5 years since the deadly January 6th insurrection in Washington, D.C.
January 6, 2021, pro-Trump rioters stormed the Capitol trying to stop lawmakers from certifying Joe Biden's victory. They attacked officers, destroyed parts of the building. More than 140 responding police officers were injured in the fighting. One died the next day of a stroke. 4 more later by apparent suicide. President Trump was federally indicted on charges related to the riots, but the case was dropped after he won the 2024 election. He then pardoned over 1,000 people who were criminally charged in the riots.
This morning, a man is in custody after authorities say he damaged Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. 26-year-old William DeFore faces charges including vandalism and criminal trespassing. Court records say Secret Service agents saw DeFore enter the home and use a hammer to break windows. Records also say he tried to leave after being spotted by the agents. The vice president and his family were in Washington at the time of the incident.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting will be shutting down. The organization helps provide funding to public television and radio stations across the country. It's been slowing down its funding campaigns after Congress voted to defund them. The agency's CEO said the move to close was the best way to protect public media.
6:05. New year, new goals, and we have a year-long plan for you. News 3 Now is partnering with SSM Health to launch our Time for Kids, a Recipe for Health campaign. So the first tip of the month is all about setting smart goals as a family.
Goal setting is important because it gives us something to really work around and something to look forward to and achieve in small steps.
SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So it's a simple way to turn big ideas that you may start out with into doable steps. Wellness coach and SSM family medicine physician Dr. Rupa Shah says, for example, instead of saying, we'll eat healthier, you can start by eating a healthy, balanced meal twice a week for the next 4 weeks. And the key is doing it together.
When you set goals together, it gives yourself and the kids some more accountability, and that's really what it's about. And it shows them that you are supporting them and the goals that they want to reach, and that you're there for them, right? And it shows them as an adult, too, how to go after things that you really want to achieve.
That team approach makes it more fun and more likely to stick to. Whether it's a family walk 3 times a week or making family dinner a priority, small SMART goals can lead to big changes. So the Time for Kids, a Recipe for Health campaign runs all year long. So I will have weekly tips for you every Tuesday vetted by SSM Health professionals to help families build healthier habits. So we do have these handy dandy calendars that will be available at SSM Health clinics and also through News 3 Now giveaways that we'll be doing throughout the next few weeks. And there is also a digital version online attached to the story on channel3000.com.
All right, 6:06 now. Take a look at this. A family in Grand Chute rebuilding after a deer crashed through a window into their home. The owners weren't home at the time. It wasn't until later a neighbor spotted the deer in the basement. With a few days alone, the deer had some time to roam around.
It's a mess. Glass and poop everywhere. Every season we deal with that. Yeah, anything from squirrels chewing up windows to raccoons coming down chimneys to deer smashing through windows.
Could you imagine the bill that would come after that cleanup?
No, would not want to be that family.
Oh, by the way, the deer is just fine. It was unharmed and has since been released back into the wild.
After roaming around the home for a few days, tearing up things, leaving behind its
What a mess.
things.
Wouldn't want to clean that up.
Yeah, at all. Well, a mess maybe being made outside right now with the weather changing out there, Savannah. How are things looking right now?
Yeah, really messy on radar, guys, this morning. We do have some fairly heavy rain that's falling across a lot of Dane County. That's including Fitchburg, the city of Madison, areas up near Sun Prairie, west and also south of Wanakee, Cross Plains, and Mount Horeb still seeing a little bit of purple. That's the mixed or winter precipitation, sleet and freezing rain still mixing in with that. But then Perry, just to the south, a little bit warmer temperature playing a really big role on what kind of precipitation we're seeing. Also got some purple up near Wisconsin Dells because those temperatures are closer to freezing level and still a little bit below that, ranging about 30 to 32. So yeah, still dealing with that sleet up across those areas. We've also got low visibilities out there. We're under 2 miles in Madison, at 2 miles in Janesville. So because of the high humidity, some fog, and with that heavy precipitation falling, that is dropping all visibilities across southern Wisconsin. We'll have details on when this system gets out of here and when our next one will arrive.
Sounds good. Still ahead, the Packers getting ready for Saturday's playoff game against the Bears. What head coach Matt LaFleur wants his team to understand before the matchup.
Plus, the River Food Pantry is officially relocating to its new building this month, how they're serving the community in the meantime, and what you can do to help them moving forward.
But for now, let's take a live look at the Beltline at John Nolan Drive. But we're going to take a look at this 511 road map. You can see those road conditions this morning. partially covered, and we'll keep you updated. And Savannah Brito will have the full forecast when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
We're back in the 608. The River Food Pantry is preparing for a big month, and they're asking the community to help stock the shelves.
Josh Breiter is here with how you can help them moving forward. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, good morning, guys. News 3 Now is proud to sponsor Pack the Pantries. We help the River Food Pantry with their big move in 2026. The nonprofit is relocating this month to a new permanent home on Packers Ave. This is directly across from its current location with more space to serve Dane County residents facing food insecurity. But they need the community's help. Each week, the river feeds more than 4,000 people, many of them working families relying on pantry visits as grocery costs rise and food share benefits tighten. So we've launched the Pack the Pantry campaign, aiming to raise $100,000 and collect 100,000 pounds of food and essential items before opening day.
Finally moving into a new space that we have needed for so long. We were at our other location for almost 20 years, and so now to have this new facility paid for, right, by so many wonderful donors is a dream come true.
With more than 300 volunteers, the River hopes for a fully stocked new home to help more families in need come late this month. Community members can participate in several. You can sponsor cases of food, monetary donations, help the pantry purchase wholesale food items, host a food drive. The River can provide donation barrels and coordinate drop-off and pickup, or donate directly. Most items can be dropped off in the bin near the loading docks from 10 to 2 on weekdays, starting January 9th. Then a drive-through donation event will be held on January 26th from 10 to 4. And finally, host a roundup campaign. Local businesses can offer customers the option of rounding up purchases to support the pantry. Again, News 3 Now is a proud sponsor. If you'd like to help or get involved, we posted details on our website. That is channel3000.com. This is so many years in the making for them, and I know it's going to be a big month. They're a little stressed, but it's going to be great. We're going to help them make it happen, and that's why the community's help is needed, because it always it goes in return, right? It's that full circle moment. They do so much for the community. Now it's our time to lift them up too.
Yes, I'm excited about this initiative, especially because there's so many families in our communities in need.
Especially right now, over the last couple of months, we've seen that, and they're expecting that to continue here in 2026. So got to start strong.
Yes, very good.
Let's do it. Thanks, Josh.
You bet.
Josh is always looking for ideas, so be sure to reach out to him either on social media or email us at in the608@WISC-TV.com.
Well, during this move to the new building, the River Food Pantry is closed this month, but that doesn't mean their service to the community stops. The nonprofit will host drive-through pop-ups at St. Paul's Lutheran Church on North Sherman Avenue. Distribution hours are 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Friday, January 9th, Wednesday, January 14th, Friday, January 16th, Wednesday, January 21st, and Friday, January 23rd. All right, we're keeping an eye on the roads this morning. Before we check in with Savannah Brito and your First One forecast, we're taking a look at the Beltline. John Nolan Drive here. Things wet out there. We've been watching this transition from kind of a freezing mix into rain. Savannah, what's going on out there right now?
Yeah, we have several slick spots. This is our road condition map. A lot of blues, even though we're dealing with rain across Dane County and areas east, that is still allowing or making slick spots out there. Partially covered roadways because of that icy mix that we're seeing, and up near Camp Douglas, there's even some of that pink. All of those areas north of Madison have mainly just seen sleet over the last several hours. In Madison, we did have some sleet closer to about 4:35 a.m., but over the last hour, that's pretty much just been rain, and some of that fairly heavy across a lot of Dane County and then parts of northern Greene County as well. All of this yellow is the moderate to heavy showers and pockets that stretch for Fitchburg, the city of Madison, near Cottage Grove, up near Sun Prairie, and then a lot of western Dane County seeing that too. Cross Plains, Mount Horeb, and Perry. There is still a little bit of this purple near Mount Horeb and to the northwest. That's the sleet that we're still seeing. So give yourself a little bit of extra time. I still think that first round lasts through late morning, and then we're going to see additional showers and mixed precipitation, especially north of Madison, as we get closer to lunchtime. And that second band will last the majority of the afternoon. eventually reaching the city of Madison. Still could have some mixed precipitation. We will see the mid-30s, but temperatures right now are really dependent on what kind of precipitation that we're seeing, and low visibilities out there all across the map. We have some pretty dense fog up northeast of Madison, high humidity levels, and we have low visibilities because of that heavy rain that we're seeing fall too. Juneau's at 0, Madison right now at about 1.25 miles, Monroe 2.5 miles, Janesville 2, and then La Crosse at 7. That's one of the higher visibilities, but most of us are at 5 or under that threshold. Here's our temps. We're at 33, a little bit above freezing level, but then notice Janesville's at 34, Watertown 35. All those areas just seeing rain and pretty heavy rain. But then you go west, Boscobel's at 31, Camp Douglas is at 30. That's why those areas are really just seeing that mixed precipitation, sleet, and freezing rain. We'll get into the mid to upper 30s across most of southern Wisconsin. I think by that afternoon and lunchtime hour, beyond that into the early evening, we'll mainly be seeing rain, but a couple of light snowflakes could mix in with that too. Our next bigger system will come in 2 waves, Thursday night into Friday as rain, but then Friday night into Saturday, and then the alert day is for Saturday, and Saturday night will transition over to snow as temperatures fall. We'll be hovering right at freezing level, which is going to play a role in how heavy and wet the snow is on Saturday, but we are expecting some pretty slick travel during the day and night Saturday.
The last team the Packers beat, the Bears. The last team the Bears beat were the Packers. They'll go one more time this season, Saturday in the playoffs.
News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us how Coach Matt LaFleur is approaching this do-or-die game.
Good morning, everybody from Lambeau Field. The Packers return to work today, focused on Saturday night's matchup with the Chicago Bears in the NFC Wild Card round. It'll be the 3rd time the Packers have played the Bears this season, the 3rd time in a 5-week calendar span. But Matt LaFleur knows, as well as these two teams know each other, he cannot change his process with his team just because it's the postseason.
Well, I think you definitely stick with your process that you believe in, but I think just everybody has to understand the magnitude of the playoffs and what that brings in regards to there's a finality to it. So you got to go play your best ball.
We'll see how this rivalry plays out in its 213th edition, but only the 3rd edition in a playoff game. The last time the Packers and the Bears faced off in the postseason, the 2010 NFC Championship game, which the Packers won at Soldier Field to earn a berth in Super Bowl 45. We'll have full coverage throughout the week leading into the game and of the game itself on Saturday night in Chicago on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. Still ahead, a World War II veteran takes flight again at 101.
And a bipartisan bill aims to loosen alcohol restrictions at Wisconsin wedding barns. We'll have the impacts. Hey, we're back. Sharon Gwen's morning with everyone. A nice shot here of the sun peeking over the horizon there. Love those shots, Gwen.
She actually wrote a message. She said this was like the Wolfie moon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's the moon?
Yesterday.
Yeah, that's what she sent us a message.
Okay.
Yeah, she said it's the full
right.
Wolfie moon going down at 5 a.m. on Friday morning.
Well, thank you for sending that in.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's what you've been looking for.
Bright enough to be the sun.
Yeah.
Honestly.
There
Thanks,
you
Gwen.
go. Well, here's a look at what's trending this morning. A World War II veteran in Castroville, Texas, celebrated his 101st birthday by returning to the skies. B.L. Craighead Jr. marked the milestone with a flight 1,000 feet in the air aboard a restored 1940 Stearman biplane. So this is the same type of aircraft he trained in more than 80 years ago. So you can only imagine how he felt inside of this plane. Look at him. The flight was made possible by Dream Flights, a nonprofit that gives senior veterans the chance to experience open cockpit flights in historic World War II era aircraft. And for Craighead, it was a birthday celebration that brought history full circle for him. Yeah, so at 101, What a milestone.
Hard to top that birthday, right? That's a way to celebrate.
For sure.
It's incredible to think how far aviation has come in the 100 years that he's been alive, just barely getting off the ground whenever he was, young, to a full circle moment here after his 100th birthday.
So cool.
Yes. Well, take a look at this. We're not leaving Dubai chocolate behind in 2025. We're bringing it on into 2026. Starbucks rolling out new winter menu items, and it includes more Dubai chocolate flavors. So that winter menu rolling out today. You can try all the flavors that you may want to. And of course, the other cake pops returning next month for Valentine's Day.
How long do the holiday cups continue, though? I always feel like they have to obviously get rid of that supply. So sometimes you see it all the way into February yet, and it's interesting.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, we have mixed precipitation out there this morning, rain and some sleet creating slick roads. We'll talk about when the system will move out.
This morning, we're getting you ready to head out the door. The current road conditions in your area.
And new childhood vaccine guidance. The shots, the CDC says, are no longer needed, and the rebuttal from state health agencies.
I looked out my front window and seen the flames. I immediately got dressed.
Plus, the community processing a historic loss. We'll hear from a former employee of the Lake House Inn about the devastating fire.
And braving the ice for an animal in need. The story of a local teen's heartwarming rescue. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning on a Tuesday. We've got some weather that's impacting the morning commute. We've been tracking some freezing rain and some rain, some sleet, and it's bad timing.
Yes, bad timing, also causing some cancellations at schools, school closing, as well as delays. But first, we're going to take a live look right now at East Washington at Stoughton Road, where drivers could be seeing some slippery commutes this morning.
Yeah, let's check in with Savannah Brito now. She's tracking the radar. What's going on?
Yeah, just because we have green at this point, that's still making slick spots out there across a lot of southern Wisconsin. Things are slow going, so I would say allow at least an extra 5 to 10 minutes. We've got a lot of green going on right now across Madison, and even those oranges and yellows, some pretty moderate to heavy showers falling across the city right now. But then we've still got some mixed precipitation up near the Dells. Most of that has faded out, but then we've got that second band up near Minneapolis that is reaching La Crosse and Black River Falls that will reach us later this morning into the afternoon. So we're not out of the woods yet, but yeah, we're even seeing some red now up near Cross Plains, southwest of Waunakee and northwest of Madison. That is very heavy rain, so even that is impacting areas. Little bit of purple, you see a few dots near Fitchburg and then Mount Horeb. So really slick going this morning, even though it's just rain. That is creating some slick spots because of the wet roadways that we've got across a lot of southern Wisconsin and low visibilities. Temperatures hover around freezing level. We'll discuss when the system gets out of here and when the next one will arrive.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Want to get to our top stories this morning now. U.S. health officials changing their guidance on vaccines, saying that children need fewer now from birth.
They're now recommending 11 shots. That's down from 17. The CDC has stopped broadly recommending vaccines for flu, rotavirus, hepatitis A and B, some meningitis strains, and RSV. Instead, these vaccines are now advised only for high-risk patients. Health leaders claim this change aligns America with other developed countries like Denmark. They emphasize that all these vaccines remain available after consulting your doctor.
Very often, we don't even realize someone is high risk until they develop a severe infection that can lead to hospitalization and death.
At the state level, health officials are responding. They say, quote, "We have not yet seen new scientific evidence that would justify changes to longstanding recommendations that have and continue to protect the health of children in the United States. We will continue to assess the changes to the recommended childhood vaccination schedule made by the CDC, as well as recommendations from other trusted medical and public health agencies, and will communicate any impact these changes may have on Wisconsinites in the coming days." We now go on to our continuing coverage of the capture of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. The couple pleaded not guilty to 4 federal charges, including conspiracy to import cocaine and machine guns and conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism.
They appeared in court yesterday for their first time after being captured during a U.S. military operation in Venezuela Saturday. Crowds outside the courtroom divided as many celebrated the end of a dictatorship, others standing against the U.S. intervention, with the divide echoing throughout the globe. Across the U.S., supporters of President Trump also at odds, while Venezuelans here are focused on what comes next.
I'm concerned about the legality of going in and just kidnapping people, even though, on the other hand, I do believe this person is a ruthless criminal.
We know that this is the beginning of the end, and this will be the start of a new time for Venezuela.
Meantime, a new Reuters Ipsos poll shows 1 in 3 Americans approve the president's actions. When broken down, 65% of Republicans agreed, while 11% of Democrats agreed with U.S. actions. Roughly 3/4 of those surveyed also said they were concerned about the U.S. getting too involved.
New this morning, the Justice Department reveals less than 1% of the Epstein files have been reviewed. Only 12,000 of 2 million documents have been released despite a congressional order. The department says some documents may be duplicates. More than 400 lawyers are sifting through a vast collection that includes FBI emails, court filings, and other records related to the case. It remains unclear when the next batch of documents will be released.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is no longer running for re-election. The announcement comes as the former vice presidential candidate is under scrutiny over his administration's handling of the alleged daycare fraud scandal. Walz says he'll continue to focus on the state until his term ends in November.
I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job. Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will.
Political analysts believe Senator Amy Klobuchar could be the Democratic frontrunner if she decides to run. For Republicans, Trump ally and MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is looking to get the nomination in his party. Governor Evers commenting on the news, saying in part, "We're grateful to call them friends," referring to Tim Walz and his wife. "I look forward to working with Tim in the days and months ahead as we continue getting good things done for the people of our states."
The Trump administration is deploying about 2,000 federal agents, including ICE, to Minneapolis as part of an immigration crackdown. Senior Trump officials have recently focused on Minnesota's Somali community amid allegations of welfare fraud, as mentioned. While details remain scarce, over 1,000 arrests have been made, targeting individuals described as murderers, pedophiles, and gang members.
In more local news this morning, if you're planning a wedding in a Wisconsin barn or plan on attending one, the alcohol you could be served could look different. Right now, wedding barn venues have to get a liquor license or be limited to 6 events per year and 1 a month when guests can bring their own alcohol. Options are also limited to just wine and beer. There's a new bipartisan bill, though, that was just introduced last month that's looking to update those restrictions.
I've introduced a bill to change that part of the regulation to instead allow for 36 events, no limit on how many per month, and to allow for hard liquor so that our wedding barns, which are a really important way of bringing dollars into our rural areas, helping family farmers, and giving couples an affordable option to get married, can continue to operate.
The bill's author hopes to move forward with the new legislation by March. However, it will likely face pushback and struggle to get a vote in the Senate.
People in the Edgerton community and beyond are mourning the loss of a beloved historic supper club. Just before 8:30 Sunday night, firefighters responded to reports of flames and smoke at the Lake House Inn. 10 different agencies battled the fire for several hours. The Lake House Inn has been a staple of the Greater Rock County community, hosting countless dinners and celebrations.
20 years? Yeah, my kids worked there all the way through probably middle school and high school. And my daughter is back there working now. Went upstairs and my daughter called me and said she heard there's fire at Lake House. I looked out my front window and seen the flames. I immediately got dressed and went up there, and it was fully engulfed in flames.
It's unclear exactly how the fire started. However, preliminary investigations show it began in the kitchen. The owner told firefighters he was the last to leave the building about 2 hours before the first call came in.
UW men's basketball back in action tonight, wrapping up a homestand at the Kohl Center against UCLA. The Bruins coming off a loss to Iowa. Wisconsin looking to bounce back after falling to number 5 Purdue. Tip-off 8 o'clock tonight. You can watch it on Peacock or listen on the Badger Radio Network. Looking ahead, the Badgers back in action Saturday at noon. You can watch it right here on WISC-TV as they take on Michigan. Meanwhile, the Bucks welcoming a new president into the organization this morning. Josh Glessing is taking over for Peter Fegan. Fegan led the organization through the creation of Pfizer Forum, the Deer District, and their 2021 championship. Glessing comes from the Haslam Sports Group, which owns the Cleveland Browns. Fegan will stay on to smooth out the transition for the next few months.
6:38, take a look at this. Over winter break, a Waunakee teen had a heartwarming encounter on Lake Mendota. Grant Richards and a friend were ice fishing when they spotted a goose frozen to the ice. Grant helped free the bird and brought it back to his fishing tent to warm up. He calls it an unforgettable experience.
Like, I've always loved animals, and honestly, like, when I saw him and I knew he was hurt, it just kind of just came over me that like I needed to help this animal. Like, I could never just watch it slowly just die out there and just know I didn't do anything. So I was a little hesitant at first, like if he would bite or anything, but once we like handled him, he really did just like allow us to do what we had to do.
Showed some bravery and saved an animal. He says the goose eventually warmed up and flew away on its own.
All right. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Something to tell about, something, you know, when you come back to school, tell people what you did over winter break.
I know. His love for the outdoors, doing something kind. Way to go.
Yes. Well, let's check in now with Savannah, who's getting you ready to head out the door. Lots to track this morning, Savannah.
Yeah, we've got a very active radar. In fact, a lot of yellow, orange, and even reds across Dane County right now. Up near Camp Douglas, La Crosse, and Black River Falls, as well as the Dells, we're still seeing that purple, which is sleet or a wintry mix. But we pretty much just have that very heavy rain now moving across the city of Madison and the majority of Dane County. Fitchburg, areas east of Belleville, up near Cottage Grove, Sun Prairie, south of Waunakee, and east of Cross Plains. These are all areas that are dealing with a very heavy rain, maybe even a little bit of graupel. You can see that white core just to the southwest of Waunakee, and a lot of reds too. We'll have details on when the system moves out and when the next one with alert day conditions will arrive to southern Wisconsin.
Savannah, thank you. 6:40 this morning. Coming up in the 608, the River Food Pantry is officially relocating to its new building this month. How they're serving the community in the meantime and what you can do to help them moving forward.
And weather is going to impact the morning commute this morning. We'll keep checking in on those roads throughout the morning.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Hey, we're back 6:44. Keeping our eye on some school closings this morning. So we have some closings and delays, mainly in rural school districts off to the north, where we've seen some of that freezing rain, where temperatures are just cold enough, and especially, you get those hilly areas, a little bit dangerous, a little bit more dangerous for some of those school buses to get kids to and from. So they're scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you're not patient enough for that, go to channel3000.com.
Yes, we have a full list there waiting for you. But of course, if you are headed out the door this morning, we want to get you a live look at WISC-TV's winter road condition maps right now. Again, you're seeing a lot of that blue. There's some green areas, but mostly blue. And up north, you see some of those pink areas, but that means those roads could be slick wherever you're driving at. So just make sure you're taking it easy and allowing yourself some extra time for your morning commute. Savannah, you've been tracking an active radar. What are we seeing right now?
Yeah, we're still seeing mixed precipitation far north of Madison. You can see a little bit of purples up near the Dells, Camp Douglas, and La Crosse. Up near Black River Falls and La Crosse, that's that second band that's going to continue to move in. So we'll be dealing with this the majority of the morning and even parts of the afternoon. We have a very, very active radar as far as heavy rainfall goes across a lot of Dane County. We're even seeing a little bit of a graupel or hail core, I think, that in the center of these. So that's south of Cottage Grove, but a ton of orange. That is moderate to heavy rainfall. We even got a little bit of red. And like I said, that middle of the system, this is along areas near Sigel-Cal Road, County Road AB, up near Hope, McFarland, and Monona, seeing that core and all this orange and even red. So very, very heavy rain that we're tracking there. And then also up near Middleton and along County Road Q, we're seeing another one of those cores. So reds, oranges, yellows, all the very heavy rain that we're seeing across Dane County. That's also reducing visibility out there. And even though we're just seeing rain solely across Dane County, that is still allowing or making slick spots out there. We're down to just a mile in Madison. We've got very high humidity levels, and with the super heavy rain falling, a lot of lower visibilities this morning, all the way down to just half a mile or under that, a quarter of a mile in Juneau, 3/4 of a mile in Watertown, 2 currently in Janesville, and 3 up in the Dells. Our temperatures still hover right about freezing level. We're a degree above that in Madison, hence the rain. Janesville's all the way up to 36. We still have a lot of areas up near Wisconsin Dells, Lone Rock, Boscobel, Camp Douglas at 32 or even a little bit under that, hence the mixed precipitation there because of those cooler temps that hover below freezing level. We'll see a high of 38 today in Madison. I think once we get to lunchtime, it's still going to have active precipitation, falling rain, maybe a little bit of a mix too. That will transition over to rain, but still going to have an active radar heading into that lunchtime hour and early evening before we see things wrap up. Then our next system arrives Thursday night into Friday as rain. That transitions to a rain snow mix Friday night, and then all snow by Saturday. The growing potential for an accumulating snow of 3 inches plus is growing all across southern Wisconsin, so we are calling for alert day conditions because of the accumulating snowfall and slick or hazardous travel. That is for Saturday pretty much all day and including Saturday night. That snow wraps up early Sunday, but temperatures are only going to get up to about 28.
All right, Savannah, thank you. In the 608 this morning, the River Food Pantry is preparing for a big month, and they're asking for your help to stock the shelves.
Our Josh Brighter is here now with how you can help them moving forward. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. News 3 Now is proud to sponsor Pack the Pantry as we help the River Food Pantry with their big move in 2026. The nonprofit is relocating this month to a new permanent home on Packers Avenue. This is directly across from its current location with more space to serve Dane County residents facing food insecurity. But they need your help. Each week, the river feeds more than 4,000 people, many of them working families, relying on pantry visits as grocery costs rise and food share benefits tighten. So we've launched the Pack the Pantry campaign, aiming to raise $100,000 and also collect 100,000 pounds of food and essential items before opening day.
Finally moving into a new space that we have needed for so long. We were at our other location for almost 20 years, and so now to have this new facility paid for, right, by so many wonderful donors is a dream come true.
With more than 300 volunteers, the River hopes for a fully stocked new home to help more families in need come late this month. Right now, community members can participate in several ways. You can sponsor cases of food. Monetary donations help the pantry purchase wholesale food items. Host a food drive. The River can provide donation barrels and coordinate drop-off or pickup. Donate directly. Most items can be dropped off in a bin near the loading docks from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on weekdays starting January 9th. Then a drive-through donation event will be held January 26th from 10 to 4. And finally, host a roundup campaign. Local businesses can offer customers the option of rounding up purchases to support the pantry. Again, News 3 Now is a proud sponsor. If you'd like to help or get involved, we've posted details on our website. That is channel3000.com. Still waiting on word of an official opening date, but in the meantime, they're doing this big move right now. This is a lot, right? This is a hard time of the year because there's so much excitement and more donations going into the holiday season. There's just so many more campaigns. January and February are historically really hard months for pantries because people, they are kind of done donating, right? They do all their good deeds up until the holiday season. So that's why this need is really, really important as we kick off this new year.
Yes, as we know, people across our communities need the help.
Absolutely. So. And you saw in the video, I mean, this space is big, right? There are a lot of shelves that need to be filled. It's kind of bittersweet. The reason they need this space is because there's more of a need here locally. So think about that in the new year when you're trying to give back.
And they can stretch those dollars so far if you just want to donate that financially. They could use it right now. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Josh is always looking for stories in the 608. Got an idea for him? Reach out and let him know about it.
During this move, though, to the new building, the River Food Pantry is closed this month, but that doesn't mean their service to the community stops. The nonprofit will host drive-through pop-ups at St. Paul's Lutheran Church on North Sherman Avenue. Distribution hours are 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, January 9th, Wednesday, January 14th, Friday, January 16th, Wednesday, January 21st, and Friday, January 23rd. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, when you can take your Christmas tree out for pickup.
Got a little kid turning 3 soon? Send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
We're taking a live look right now at East Washington Avenue at Stoughton Road here. This morning's weather may impact your commute, so plan accordingly. A few schools have closed or delayed their start this morning, so be sure to take a look at the bottom of your screen, or for the full list, visit our website, channel3000.com.
The CDC announcing updated recommendations for childhood vaccines. Under the new guidelines, the CDC now recommends vaccinations against 11 diseases, down from the previous 17. The American Academy of Pediatrics calling the changes dangerous and unnecessary and said it will continue to issue their own vaccine recommendations for kids.
2 brothers accused of homicides dating nearly a decade ago have pleaded not guilty. Justin Charlo is charged in connection to a deadly shooting near Raymond Road in 2017. His brother Jordan is charged with the same shooting as well as 2 other deadly shootings from 2016 and 17. Justin will be in court later this month and Jordan will be in court next month.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife pleading not guilty to 4 federal charges, including conspiracy to import cocaine and machine guns and conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism. U.S. forces in Caracas captured the couple over the weekend during a military operation.
The holiday tree pickup is underway for several communities. Crews in Madison will collect curbside trees through the 16th, and then you can set out again on the 20th. Beloit will pick up through the 16th. Middleton will pick up the entire month. Janesville will pick up trees during regular trash days next week.
We're still tracking a very active radar this morning across Dane County, the city of Madison, and then all these areas that are dealing with the heavy rain. That's the yellows and now even reds across McFarland and Cottage Grove. Even just the rain still enough to make things slick out there. We also have some pretty low visibility, so take it easy this morning. Still going to have precipitation falling through the lunchtime hour and most of the afternoon. Tomorrow looks like a really good day, 42. We'll see some sunshine before our next system arrives, and then snow, hence the alert day for Saturday and Saturday night.
All right, looking forward to that sunshine and a little bit of a warm up.
Tomorrow's gonna be nice.
All right, sounds good. Savannah, thank you.
CBS Mornings is next.